Hey y'all, welcome to the Esoteric Empire. So today I wanted to make a video specifically, well, it's really for everyone, but it's focusing on the air signs, okay? So we're going to talk about why the air signs seem to need that one person, that one counterpart that they just cannot get rid of, okay? So all of us are zodiac signs. All of us have all 12 zodiac signs within our chart, okay? So this may hit you depending on who you are, but this is a little bit more from my sun sign air sign. So if you're a sun sign Libra, sun sign Gemini, or sun sign Aquarius, okay, this is going to hit you a little hard, okay? So basically, the reason why the air signs are called air is because it's about your thoughts, it's about communication, it's about relatability to a certain extent. Now, all of these zodiac signs will show it in different ways. So, for example, they all are about communicating and relating, but Aquarius does this by having their own fixed thought about something and being determined about their own thoughts. And then, so just by being determined, they naturally find people that they will link up with, if you will, and they become their group of friends. And so they may not talk to anyone else but those people, and they're very fixated on them. Then you have Libra. The whole point of a Libra is to be relatable and to, really enjoy the luxurious sides of things. So in that way, they love harmony. So they will naturally find people to be harmonious with. And then you have Gemini. They are the air in its totality within one person. So they are constantly having conversations with themselves. They're constantly challenging themselves to change it up or to see it from a different perspective. And so this is why you'll see a lot of Geminis always changing their hair, changing their look. And they try to meet people to have these conversations with, kind of like they want to validate whatever they had the conversation with themselves. They want to validate it with another person outside of themselves. So it's really interesting how they all relate to relatability, right? So the reason why air signs do this is because if you think about air, they are the embodiment as far as talking about sun signs. These are their actions. So they are the embodiment of someone who needs another thing to be able to bounce off of each other. So you can't really have a conversation if you're talking to a wall. So being that these signs constantly are thinking, they're very logical, they need to make sense out of things. And in order to make sense, you kind of have to have company. You can write it out to yourself, but at the same time, having a interaction with someone by far changes the dynamic of things. So I think the only downfalls of this situation is the fact that you can find people who will either be yes men, and I feel like that's not conducive to really, growing and expanding. Then you may have people who never agree with you, and so then the air sign will always feel challenged, and they start to become like they feel like they're in war. Remember, air correlates with words because it's about, speaking, communicating. Words backwards is swords, and so your words have power. Your words are how you, on an esoteric level, it's how you go to battle. And so a lot of air signs are known for being really, cold, mean, or serious, or airheaded sometimes because they'll just say whatever comes in their head without thinking it through. And so this can be kind of tough for people who don't understand why they're like this. And some people who won't understand, why are you always changing how you feel? Or why don't you have any feelings? Why are you so cold? And it's not that air signs don't have feelings. It's more so that their feelings are involved in their thoughts and how they communicate. So you can know if a person that is an air sign fucks with you if they talk to you, okay? So because that's kind of their way of, bringing you into the situation, whether they say it in a sarcastic way or they say it in a way that's loving and warm. Especially when it comes to Libras. And I'm just kind of jumping all around here because this is just like I'm having a brain dump. When you're dealing with the Libra, they're usually really chill, really cool, calm, and collected because they want to feel out the room. They want to see like, okay, let me listen to everyone's conversation so I can figure out where I relate in it and then jump in. And because they want to keep the harmony. So that could be good because, you have a lot of people that can relate to people. You can make people feel comfortable. You can make people feel like, hey, I really like them. Like they're really, really cool. The downside of that, Libra, you can find yourself being everyone's friend and nobody really being your friend, or you're not being a friend to yourself because you can't really be cool with everyone and expect everyone to trust you. So then you find yourself having small talk all the time. You find yourself not really connecting on a deeper level, and you need that connectivity because Libra also is about the scales. It's about justice. It's about matrimony. It's about finding your partner in the sense of things. And so you need that. But if you find yourself feeling lonely and you're like, I talk to all these people, but nobody's here at the end of the day, it's because you're not really making deep connections, Libra, okay? So challenge yourself to really connect deeper and not just about surface level things. Let's talk about Gemini. So Gemini, the good thing about you make people feel as though, you can do all these different things. People have it within them to, exercise themselves, like try new things, like don't be afraid to try different things, basically is what I'm trying to say. Gemini shows people like you can do more than what you think you can do. Gemini, you're overly into the air aspect because you are ruled by Mercury. So you're very quick with your thoughts, and you can jump from one thing to the next in a matter of a week, and you know that, okay? And so this is why people are like, she's always flip-floppy, or they'll say he's always like you never know who he's going to be. They're bipolar. No, the hell they're not. They're just moving at a quicker pace than you on a mental level. So in this way, it's good for them because they can kind of jump in and out of things, and they're also mutable. So they have they're like acrobats, basically. They're mental acrobats, and that's what I love about Geminis. I love Geminis. And so Gemini, you just have to make sure you are kind of sticking to what you say, so you don't seem like a flip-flopper or a fake person. So just know who you are at the end of the day, and try not to talk too much about other people's ways of being, because you can barely keep up with yourself. So you just want to stay focused on you and show people like, look, I can do this and that, I can be cool with this and that person. And the more you do that, the more you'll see you have all these people that come to you at the drop of a dime, because you have connected with so many different people, and all you gotta do is call them up like, oh, you need this, hold on, I have someone who can do that. Oh, you need that, I got somebody who can do that for you. And you build better relationships that way. And so the bad side with Gemini, you can find yourself trying to be relating to someone, and you'll do this by throwing someone else under the bus because you're not really thinking that far into the future of how it may affect you or them. So you kind of, it's kind of like your mind talks before your mouth does. It like blurts it out, like you don't and that's where that airheaded thing comes from. And also Gemini, you get so much information on a daily basis. Sometimes you don't even remember what you said 2 days ago, or what you ate last week, or what you know what I'm saying, or last night rather. So you just have to try to keep up with yourself and try to make it to where you aren't just jumping into everything and everyone just because you want to experience it. Make sure you are like genuinely taking in experiences. Otherwise, you'll just be like doing backflips and cartwheels and front flips and round offs all up and through people's relationships and their lives, and you won't really have much stability. And that's something that I feel like a lot of Geminis need. So Gemini, you may, find yourself saying I don't need anyone because you feel like you already are two people. But the truth is, Gemini, you need someone because they will be the rock for you to be able to do all those backflips and stuff, and they'll support you. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand who you are. So Gemini, usually you would need someone who is fixed. So I think Gemini and Leos make a really, really good combination. Let's see, Gemini and Sagittarius is a nice little mix. It's a little hectic when you have that, but it is a nice little mix for you. You need people that can allow you to be active. So that's usually a fire sign. And you need people who are not going to just be like so strict and like conservative about what you do, because you want to explore. That's just who you are. And last but not least, we have an Aquarius. So Aquariuses are tricky people. You guys are weirdos. I love the Aquarius. Okay, I have a lot of Aquariuses in my family, and so I get you guys very, very well. The crazy thing is, the main thing I've learned about Aquarius is you will never truly know an Aquarius. Okay, it's always an that's the one thing you know, is that you don't know them until you know them. And so the way that you deal with an Aquarius, or the way that you guys deal with yourself, nobody's going to change your mind. Like, it just is what it is. Nobody's going to change your mind. You really don't give a damn if someone thinks anything about how you feel. You're going to say what you want to say. You may not say a goddamn thing, but that's a part of you saying something. That's how you come across. So Aquarius, you have this way of, it's almost like you don't need anyone, but you do. You need people who get you. You need people who relate to you. You need people who like the same things that you like. You need people who allow you to be yourself, because that's just who an Aquarius is. They have to be themselves. They don't know how not to be themselves. And so if you're around people who are constantly like not allowing you to be yourself, it's not going to be cool for you. You're going to hate it. You're very determined on your own thoughts, and so it is what it is. So you need people who are kind of like pushing that to make it happen. And so that's why they say Aquariuses are the humanitarians, because they have a goal usually that deals with everyone, but they just show it in a really weird way. So the way that they try to connect with people and where their relatability comes in, they find people who can support their cause. So it's kind of like Aquarius is the founder of a charity, and anybody that they hang out with has to be a part of that, has to agree with the charity, and has to be someone who's going to push that charity forth and keep it pumping. So basically, anyone who hangs out with an Aquarius, they have to be like a part of the like the ride or die clique with them. And the funny thing is, Aquariuses, I don't think they really mind if you like you're like deuces, like I can't do this no more. They don't really care. It's just more about like, when you're with me, you better be down with me, like 10 toes deep, period. And the downside of Aquarius is you guys can be really airheaded at times, like almost to the point where you don't even, like you're so fixated on what you already thought. Nothing anyone can tell you, like you don't even want to hear anyone else's logic because you're like, why do I have to listen to them? I can think for myself. And so that's when it comes to a roadblock, because then you don't really take in much intellectualism. You don't really get any other like, you don't really get you have your mindset, but the way to expand that is to hear other people's stuff. And a lot of times you'll be so closed off to that like you may say things that are like, in reality it's really stupid, because it's like, well, no, like, let me give you an example. Someone could tell you, hey, like I just found out about this new color that exists now. And you could be like, there's no such thing as a new color because you can't mix colors. And someone would be like, that's not true. You can mix a color and it can become like it's a new color. And in your mind, you're like, you can't mix colors. Colors are just colors. Like it could be the smallest thing in the world, but you'll say, because you think that that's the truth, or the sky is blue, there's no way that it could be clear because you know it's blue. And so that's when it can kind of be like, okay, I don't know how to be cool with this Aquarius. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, they don't like me. They just don't like how you think, sweetie. They don't like that you don't agree with what they say. So in all actuality, if you want an Aquarius to like you, you just got to be on the same things they like. Otherwise, there's nothing to talk about. Literally, with an Aquarius, there's nothing to talk about unless you guys have the same page or on the same page. And so that's kind of the thing with Aquarius, is they will relate to you as long as you are on their page. Another thing I think can kind of be toxic with Aquarius is they will find people who are not mentally strong in order to hang out with them, because they have the ability to manipulate their thoughts. So they're like, oh, they're dumb. Like, I like them. Like, oh yeah, she's sweet, but really they're saying she's dumb, and like, I like that I can say something and she agrees with it. So that's dangerous. So just be careful and make sure you're not one of those Aquariuses doing that, because then you will never ever like expand, and you'll be just as dumb as the person that you're hanging around. So just be careful of that. All the air signs, you guys, be careful who you hang out with, because they will become who you are. You guys need that extra, company, but just make sure that they are complimenting you and not bringing you down or plotting on you. Okay. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I really, really do love you all, especially my air signs. Hey, y'all. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.